The way we find jobs, the way we build our careers, really how we even think about our own professional value, it's all in the middle of this massive, massive change. And the engine driving all of it, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. This isn't some sci-fi movie set in the distant future. No, this is happening right now, and it is completely reshaping the world of work as we know it. You think this is just hype? Well, let's look at a number for a second. 48%. That's the percentage of recruitment agencies in the UK that, according to government data, have already adopted some form of AI. That's nearly half of them. So yeah, this isn't a prediction. This is the reality on the ground today. The new hiring machine is officially here, and it's powered on. So what is this new hiring machine actually doing? You know, it's easy to picture robots conducting interviews, but the reality is way more subtle, and honestly, a lot more powerful. Let's break down what's really going on behind the scenes. It pretty much boils down to 3 key jobs. First up, sourcing and screening. Just imagine an AI that can scan millions of resumes and online profiles in seconds to find just the right people. Then, you've got candidate engagement. We're talking about chatbots that can answer questions and schedule interviews anytime, day or night. And finally, there's predictive analytics, where the system crunches data to forecast who is most likely to knock it out of the park in a new role. It's a total game changer from the old way of doing things. Now, the vision that's being sold here is, well, it's incredibly optimistic. It's this idea of a world where technology creates the absolute perfect match between your skills and a company's needs, and does it with unbelievable speed and fairness. It's the promise of a system based purely on data and merit. And you can see why it's so compelling. We're talking about slashing the time it takes to hire someone, giving every single candidate a personalized and super responsive experience, and making calls based on cold, hard data instead of just a gut feeling. And here's the big one, the one everyone hopes for: the potential to finally reduce the unconscious human biases that can sneak into hiring, making the whole process fairer for absolutely everyone. This image really captures that ideal, right? The goal isn't to replace the recruiter, but to augment them, to give them superpowers. By letting the machine handle all the repetitive, data-heavy stuff, it frees up the human to focus on what we do best. Things like strategy, building real relationships, and making those tricky, nuanced judgments. The AI becomes this powerful lens, giving us a much clearer view of the entire talent landscape. And it's not just us saying this. This quote from Everest Group really nails that utopian vision: a new era of precision. I mean, that's the core idea, right? That we can use this incredible technology to find the exact right person for the exact right job with a level of accuracy we've just never had before. It really sounds like the perfect system. But, and this is a big but, what if there's a glitch in that perfect system? We're essentially handing over one of the most important human decisions: who gets a job, who gets a chance, to an algorithm. And that forces us to stop and ask a really serious question. Can we actually trust the machine? Because for every promise of a perfect future, there's a peril, a risk that things could go very, very wrong. This is the dark side of the coin. Let's call it the algorithmic glitch, where the machine's own logic leads to some seriously unintended and harmful outcomes. So when you start to map out the biggest risks, a few clear categories pop up. The biggest one by far is data and bias, because an AI is only as smart as the data you feed it. Then, of course, there's the very real job threat as AI gets better at more complex tasks. And then you have these huge questions around privacy and ethics. I mean, who's responsible when an AI messes up, especially when its decision-making process is a total black box that we can't even look inside? Let's just zero in on that first risk, because it is the absolute heart of the problem: algorithmic bias. See, if we train an AI on decades of hiring data that reflects all our past societal biases, well, the AI doesn't magically fix that bias. It learns it. It actually sees those biased patterns as the right way to hire. So it can end up amplifying the very discrimination we were hoping it would solve. And you know, even if we could solve all of those ethical problems tomorrow, the practical challenges are enormous. A recent survey found that the biggest hurdles to getting AI right aren't even the tech itself. It's the lack of qualified people who know how to manage it, the lack of proper rules to govern it, and, the lack of budget to do it right in the first place. It turns out getting this wrong is dangerously easy. So this isn't really a choice between the perfect promise and the scary peril. The real path forward isn't about rejecting the machine. It's about figuring out how to forge a real, working partnership with it. And this partnership really works because it plays to what each side is good at. I mean, think about it. AI brings insane speed, scale, and raw data crunching power. But humans, we bring the irreplaceable stuff: empathy, critical thinking, that gut feeling about cultural fit, and emotional intelligence. They're not competing skill sets, they're complementary. So the future then looks a lot more like this, a harmonious blend. It's not about automation, it's about augmentation. The AI is a powerful co-pilot, surfacing incredible insights and handling all the grunt work. But a human is always the pilot, providing the oversight, the context, and that final strategic call. Now, a partnership like this doesn't just change hiring, it changes everything. It forces us to totally redefine the nature of work itself. And in doing that, it redefines our own roles within it. So, what does it even mean to be a professional in the age of AI? I absolutely love this concept. For the last century, a lot of us have basically been cog workers, right? Performing these repetitive, process-driven tasks. But as AI starts to automate more and more of that, it frees us up to become cognitive athletes. Our work becomes less about following instructions and way more about creativity, critical thinking, experimentation, and true innovation. But, and here's the catch, this transition is not going to be automatic. It's going to require a massive shift from all of us. According to one study, business leaders believe that 40% of their entire workforce will need to be reskilled to adapt to AI. That is a staggering number, and it just highlights how urgent this moment really is. Which brings us to our final thoughts. This whole thing isn't just about technology changing jobs. It's a profound opportunity for us to ask a really fundamental question about ourselves. As AI increasingly handles the what and the how of our jobs, it pushes us, the humans, to focus on the why. So as the machines handle the tasks, what is our true work? And that, right there, might be the most human challenge of all.